28-year-old Sophie earns 31k a year. She rents with her flatmate, she has no kids, no car finance, and is 3 years into a decent career. She should have a serious amount of money quietly building up in the background for her future, but her savings are not that impressive and she's never invested a penny. In fact, her spending habits are costing her £1.7 million in the long run. By the end of this video, you are going to see how beauty and fashion are a costly £790,000 choice from Sophie. You'll also see how small transactions can be a collective nightmare for anybody, including you. However, with Sophie's sensible living arrangements and choice of car, it gives us hope that this is very fixable. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's get into it. Let's find out a little more about Sophie. As we mentioned, she's a 28-year-old earning £31,000 a year working in marketing. She splits her rent 50-50 with her flatmate, which comes to just £375 per month. She's got absolutely no credit card debt, which is pretty impressive, but she's only got £1,000 in savings. And I say only because with the information we have so far, I would have expected at least a little more. With no debt, no car finance, and no dependents, Sophie is in a brilliant position to build wealth. It feels like she doesn't really have any excuses here, so what's really going on? Now we're going to dive into Sophie's bank statement and tackle any problems that we come across. As always, we never use the real person's profile picture, so today we've gone for Sophie Ellis Bextor. And I've just realised that anybody under the age of 25 watching this probably has no idea who this is. So the overall balance is at £233.40 for the month, which is positive. It is in the green, which is always a good start. But should it be higher? That's what we're going to get into by the end of this statement. Her take home from her salary after tax, after deductions, comes to £2,055. And now we get on to the outgoings. And I will be putting all of these transactions into one of three categories. First of all, we have the green, which is the essentials of living. We then have the yellow, which is the allow it section, which is not quite essential, but not too bad. And then we've got the red category, which is called come on mate, because come on mate, do you really need to be spending your money on this? So as we mentioned with the rent, we are sharing a flat and paying £375, which is great. This means we are comfortably living to our means when it comes to accommodation. We've got utility bills for £150 collectively, which is absolutely fine. And we've got groceries at £220, which I probably would expect. We've then got the first question mark of the statement because we do have a car payment. Now, many of you will be aware that I am absolutely against car finance. Have a think about what that car is really costing you in the long run. And this may shock some of you, but today I'm going to mark this in yellow rather than red. And although I may sound a bit like a hypocrite here, here's why. Now, I don't recommend financing a car, but if you're gonna do it anyway, there is a golden rule where it should be 10% or less of your take home. Now, with Sophie's take home being over £2,000 and the Fiat 500 car payment being £180, this for me is acceptable. It's not preferred by any means, but it is acceptable. And this is actually the first ever person to have a car payment on their statement on this channel that is under 10%. Next up, we've got the fuel and insurance, which I will mark in green because, I mean, realistically, we need this stuff. And at £120, it really couldn't be cheaper. I mean, we're running a Fiat 500 here. There's not a more efficient car out there unless you go full electric. So far, we've got green items, we've got yellow, but no red. And this is where the fun begins. Sophie's collectively spending £170 on beauty per month. This includes having her nails done, having her lash infills, some other stuff that I don't really know what it is, but apparently it comes under beauty. And although some spend on this kind of stuff, I kind of get, does it need to be £170? Next, we have fashion for £140. Now we're talking about the ASOS and the Pretty Little Thing orders. Now, talking from my own experiences as a male, when I buy new clothes, I tend to wear them more than once, as you would expect. But if Sophie is anything like my fiance, she'll wear it once and it'll never get a look in again. Now, I don't want to stereotype all ladies here, but this makes this spend go into the red category even harder. We've then got the coffee spend, which is a regular occurrence in the bank statement breakdowns. Starbucks every single working day, £94.60 per month. Then we've got subscriptions, which does include her phone bill, to be fair, which comes to £97. This includes the usuals like Netflix and Amazon Prime, but also caters for her Audible subscription and some next day delivery stuff going on. I would just question if absolutely all of these are really necessary. We've got the gym at £85 per month. Now the first question is, are we actually going? And the second question is, do we need such an expensive gym membership? If Sophie's using it, then fine. There's probably easier things to tackle than the gym membership here. We've then got food delivery for the month for £80, which to be honest isn't too bad compared to some of the people we've had on this channel. And then finally we have bars and restaurants, £110 for the month. Again, not the best, but not the worst. And even though it's not the worst, it's still going down in red. Sophie's total outflow for the month is £1,821.60. And this may include some of the little bits and bobs that didn't really feel necessary to put into the statement. So when you deduct that from the take home, this is where we get the balance of £233.40. And Sophie did make me aware that she does aim to put £200, which is roughly 10% into savings every month. So she has got the right idea. She's not doing too bad, but there is room for improvement, and that is why we need to run these numbers. So with that total outflow in mind, let's put the three categories together and see where the money is really going overall. Sophie's essential spend altogether comes to just £865, which is roughly around 42% of her take home. Now, to be honest, most people are spending 42% of their take home on the rent alone, not including the bills, the groceries, the petrol, this kind of stuff. So this is actually incredible and puts her in a great position to be building wealth. Then we have the yellow section, the allow it section, which comes to around £265, which again is a very small percentage in comparison to the average, coming to just 13%. And what makes this even more impressive is this 13% even includes the car. So she's in a very good position still. But this is where we start to catch Sophie slacking. When we get onto the red category, the come on mate category. This comes to £691.60 for the month, roughly around 33% of that take home. Now Sophie might be thinking this is absolutely okay because she's doing so well when it comes to the essentials. And even the £200 savings is good. It's the right mindset, but it's not enough to start investing as well. Let's take a look at what Sophie could be investing and what it could be worth in her future. Now, as an example, if Sophie was to take all of that come on mate spending, all of that potentially wasted money and invested it, £691 per month at a 10% return per year, which historically is the average for the S&P 500 over a 32-year time frame, which would take her to the age of 60, which again is actually 5 years younger than the average retirement age in the UK. This would be worth approximately £1.75 million, and it would be tax-free because she would be able to utilise a stocks and shares ISA. But we know that this is not realistic. She cannot give up absolutely everything and just stare at her walls for the rest of her life. So what about if we was to cut back around 50% of that bad spending? Now, I'm not going to tell Sophie what to prioritise and what items she should be cutting back on. It could be the beauty, the fashion, the coffee. There are a few different options there, or it could be a bit of everything. But look, I do not know enough about these things. I don't know enough about these beauty treatments to know which ones are important to Sophie. So I am going to have to leave that to her. But just to paint the picture, those 50% cutbacks running on those exact same numbers, we're looking at around £878,000. Almost £1 million in retirement just to cut back some spends here and there by around 50%. And even if Sophie's not willing to do this, she can cut back by just 25% and still have around 440k. Almost £500,000 in retirement for not a lot of sacrifice at all. Considering the great position she's in with absolutely no debt, I do believe that something here is achievable. It's ultimately just down to Sophie to decide how far she wants to go. Now you might be watching and thinking this isn't relevant to me. I do have debt, I do have car finance, I do have dependencies. But this is why we do a bank statement breakdown every single week. There are plenty other videos from people in all sorts of different situations. So feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying this video and if you want to see more bank statement breakdowns. So we're going to put a roadmap in place for Sophie to follow to take her finances to the next level. And due to her fairly favourable position at the moment, it is quite a simple two-step roadmap. Step number 1 is to decide on what Sophie wants to cut back on. Like I said, I'm not in a position to do this for her. It's her priorities and her choices. And it doesn't even need to be the same cutbacks every single month. As long as she's doing step number 2 correctly, which is automating her investing, she won't have a problem. Now, automating the investing is so important. And the reason for this is because if you leave it to the end of the month, you'll only invest what you've got left, if anything. If you make it a priority on payday, it changes your whole money mindset. Making it an essential spend with your rent, your groceries, your utility bills is the absolute key to building wealth. Now, I did a full video on this not so long ago. I will put a link somewhere at the top of the screen right now, but I basically go into detail about how you can master this. And that's pretty much it for Sophie, a very simple and boring 2-step roadmap because she's already in a position where she should be able to thrive. And when it comes to that essential spend, Sophie is in a very different position to Marcus, who featured on the channel not so long ago, who felt the need to upgrade absolutely everything because he doubled his salary. And if you want to check out that bank statement breakdown, I will leave it somewhere on the screen right now for you to click and go and check out.